So when they tell you that one Nigeria is a scam, you people will not agree. When they tell you that being a one Nigeria is a scam, some of you will not agree. So I want you to tell me, as one Nigerialist you are, tell me that one thing that you have benefited from being one Nigeria. Just tell me one valuable thing that you have benefited in Nigeria since the existence of Nigeria, since the amalgamation of Nigeria, since Britain put everybody together and we became one. Tell me one thing you have benefited in one Nigeria. You understand? When you tell me, then I will know the answer I will give to you as one Nigerialist. For those of you that is shouting one Nigeria, you will see that one Nigeria is a scam. It's a very big scam. Yes. Listening to this video, this guy is an Hausa guy. He said a whole lot of things in this video that I'm about to play here. He said a whole lot of things. You understand? And this is the things that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has been shouting on top of his voice for a very long time. You understand? But this guy has already said it again so that you can now understand the reason why one Nigeria was created in the first place and the reason why we need to dissolve that Nigeria. You understand? Because if we continue like this, continue deceiving ourselves, that country can never make any headway. We are not going anywhere. You understand? Until we begin to tell ourselves the truth, until we revisit the problem and know the problem why Nigeria is where they are today. If not, we are not making any headway. Some of you think that changing party, going from APC to ADC, from ADC to NDC is problem of Nigeria. But the same people that is changing the party are still the same people ruling that Nigeria. They are just confusing all of you, your brain. The same politicians are the one destroying that country. The same politicians are moving from one party to another. Still that the same politicians. And we leave people that we're supposed to hold accountable. We are talking about party. Party is just a name. The real people destroying Nigeria is the politicians. Is the politicians destroying that country. So I want you to watch this video carefully and listen to this guy. He has a lot of things to say in this video. A lot of things. And everything he said is 100% perfect. Perfect. Watch the video. You will understand.
At this point in time, there is a need for us to ask ourselves, who are the benefactors of one Nigeria? Who are the people that are benefiting from one Nigeria? Is Nigeria truly one? The most stupid thing I've come to understand over time is the fact that whenever somebody come up to talk about a need to divide Nigeria, a lot of fools think that it is a bad idea. We see it as a bad thing. We see it as a criminal offense for somebody to say Nigeria is supposed to be divided. Meanwhile, Nigeria is not united. From 1914 up till date, when Nigeria was amalgamated till this point, if you take a look at a critical aspect of our society, you will realize that the Northerners have been migrating to the South in uncountable number, the same way the Southerners have been migrating to the North. And this migration has been very, very active. But yet, if you talk about Northern Nigeria, it is easy for you to know the people of Northern Nigeria and segregate them. If you talk about Southern Nigeria, it is easy for you to segregate them. Why? Because there was no intermarital affairs between these people. And what has been preventing the intermarital affairs? Igbo cannot marry Hausa. Hausa cannot marry Igbo. Yoruba cannot marry Hausa. Hausa cannot marry Yoruba. Because of what? The religious and cultural differences. And sometimes we compare ourselves to US, to different countries of the world, to China. If you go to China, there is nothing like somebody from North China cannot marry somebody from South China. Everybody in China, once they meet themselves, they find love within themselves, they get married to themselves. The same thing with America. There's nothing like there is a part of America that not married the other part of America. But in Nigeria, if we have been intermarrying within ourselves since the amalgamation of Nigeria till this point, it would have been very, very, very difficult for you to talk about one ethnic group successfully, because we would have had over 11 million people whose father are Igbo and their mothers are Hausa, and over 20 million people whose father are Hausa and their mothers are Igbo. The same thing with Yoruba. And that intermarital relationship would have deleted everything that has to do with tribalism and nepotism among us. But it is not possible. So you will see that the amalgamation of Nigeria was done in a very clinical manner that keep us segregated, so that there will be, it's just like mixing a cup of oil with a cup of water, knowing fully well that they will not mix together, so that we can easily be exploited. And whenever you talk about one Nigeria, who are the people that are benefiting from it? A very few elites, who are the stakeholders of the British business that has been invented. So why is it possible for new countries to be formed in Europe? If you go to Europe from the year 2000 to 2026, as we speak, almost 30 countries have been formed. New countries, without agitation, without war, without fight. So why is it easy for new countries to be formed in other places around the globe? Kosovo, Serbia, Slovakia, Montenegro, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, different countries. New countries have been formed peacefully. But if it comes down to our own place here, to form a new country is a big deal. Why? Mind you, if you go to Europe, you will realize that Lagos is bigger than countries like Greece, Portugal, Sweden, Switzerland, Belgium, different countries of Europe, Lagos alone. And I bet you that all the states in Nigeria, including the smallest states, Ebonyi State and Bayelsa and wherever, Nasarawa State, are far bigger than many countries of the world. So I ask you, why is it a crime? Why is it a sin to talk about a new country in Nigeria, in Africa, without conflict? Why can't we divide without fighting, without conflict? And who is behind these conflicts that we experience whenever we talk about division? Nigeria is a blessed country, and virtually every region, every part of this country have abundance of mineral resources that they can rely upon. So if we are talking about the division of Nigeria, we are not even supposed to be talking about dividing into 2 or 3 or 4. And the most idiotic thing that has happened in Nigeria is to talk about the 3 major ethnic groups. There is no need for us to talk about any ethnic group as being the major ethnic group, because if you have a 3 major ethnic group where Hausa is the biggest, Yoruba and Igbo, then how will you now talk about the other ethnic groups? So Igbo is comfortable that they are number 3, Yoruba is comfortable that they are number 2, Hausa is comfortable that they are number 1. How about the people that are number 20, number 30, number 40? We are not supposed to have the same country by nature. Because if you talk about agriculture, for instance, why the southern part of Nigeria is planning their farming system in such a manner that excessive rainfall should be controlled in their farm, the northern part of Nigeria is planning their agricultural system in such a manner that excessive drought should be controlled through irrigation. So if you are making your ridges in the north to conserve water around your plant roots in the north, somebody in the south is making their ridges in such a manner that will overflow excess water from the plant root. But yet we are studying the same curriculum, we are studying the same agriculture, we are using the same textbooks, but the environmental dispensation of these 2 regions are completely different, and the cultural practices that could work in the northern part of Nigeria cannot work in the southern part of Nigeria. If you go to the north, a typical northern child will have to learn Arabic language through the Quran, learn Hausa language, and learn English language. Just one child learning 3 languages. Tell me why they won't become an alemajiri or idiots. Tell me how they can be able to function effectively when a child is being bugged with 3 different complex languages with complex lexicons being comprehended by one single child. Nobody thinks about the impact of such confusion. You are putting a little child, they must study Arabic to learn the Quran. They read from the left to the right to know the Quran, then they read from the right to the left to know chemistry and mathematics. Tell me how it can work. And if you look at the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the lawmakers, take a look at the complexity of grammar they are speaking there. Take a look at the English they are speaking on the floor of our Senate. For a country where over 70% of the citizens are illiterate. So if you are making laws for your citizens and you are making such laws in language they don't understand, how can somebody obey a law they don't understand, the law they cannot interpret? And you are talking about one Nigeria. Nigeria is due for segregation. It's due for division. Anybody that tells you anything otherwise is just fooling you. And there is abundance of mineral resources in every region of this country to sustain itself. I won't lie to you. There is no revolution that can change the status of this country. There is no protest. There is no, whether peaceful or violent, that can turn Nigeria into a good country. The only way Nigeria can get better is to divide peacefully. Let us have a national confab, sit on a round table, know how many countries Nigeria can be divided to peacefully, considering the ethnic and socio-cultural diversities of these people. and know how we can segregate them into peaceful nation. Even if it takes one local government to become a country of their own, let us have it. And if we can have international relationship like the European Union or any union you want to call it at the central level, where one passport of one of the segregated country can be functional in all other part of the country, let us have it. But as I speak with you, there is nothing that can solve the problem of this country except division. Peaceful division. From a round table, I let each region go back to their home, secure their people, secure their mineral resources, mine it, exploit it in the best interest of their people. Because the people that amalgamated Nigeria does not consider the difficulties and diversity of this country and how it will affect our existence. I bet you nobody can, even if you merge Atiku, Obi, Tinubu, Amechi, and all of them together, they cannot solve the problem of this country. Merge them into one president, they cannot solve the problem of the country. Because one region is our turn, the other region is our turn. Nobody check the credibility. Nobody check, oh, they are appointing only Yoruba, they are appointing only Hausa. But they won't be such if it is only Yoruba that are having their own state. So, I bet you it is important for us to sit on a round table and question ourselves again. Who are the benefactors of one Nigeria? Is it the British that amalgamated us without considering the ethnic diversity, the religious and socio-cultural diversity? Or is it the present leaders, the elites, or the citizens of this country? What is the benefit of one Nigeria to a common citizen of Nigeria? That is a low average life citizen of Nigeria. What is the benefit? What does a person benefit from holding a Nigerian passport? What does a person benefit from being a Nigerian citizen? The comment section is open. Tell me just one thing that somebody benefit from this country, Nigeria. And if there is nothing, then they should cease to exist.